In the module on finding your listing, I gave you a few different ways to search and see if Google already had some reference to your business in their search index, in their index of businesses at Google My Business. And if you've applied that, you probably will have found your business listing. If you haven't, we'll talk about how to set up a new one. But let's say you have found your business. Like, for example, here I've done a maps search and I see Horizon Web Marketing. Once you've seen the listing, then you can go ahead and claim it. You've got to claim the listing and take ownership of it to be able to do anything with it. Look for something like this that I'm indicating here on the lower left where it says claim this business. If that appears, then usually no one has claimed the business, although increasingly it seems that Google will show this even on claimed business listings, but at least you've got to have that for a starting point. If instead it looks like this and there's no claim this business link, most likely the business has already been claimed and you're not going to be able to get your listing so easily. Now, we're not going to go into alternate methods for that now. Instead, we're going to go forward and see another way that you might be able to get access to your listing, and that is, notice how this is switched now to manage this listing, and this will show occasionally. I haven't been able, like so many things, I haven't been able to determine the exact rhyme or reason as to when Google shows manage this listing. It seems like they're more likely to show that for something like chain stores or franchises, where you might need to ask for the actual original owner of the listing to give you access to manage the listing, and that often occurs where there's a local manager who deals with a local business. Here's some variations on that theme. Sometimes Google now adds a check mark, and it seems that when they put that check mark here, and as of the time I did these screen captures, I wasn't really finding the check mark universally, but if it does show up, then the listing has almost definitely been claimed, and you're not going to be able to claim it yourself. You're going to have to contact the owner of the listing. And again, it doesn't always show up, but if it does show up, it's only going to show up in Google's knowledge panel off to the right, not in the regular listings. As I say here, sometimes Google is just teasing. Remember, we had that claim this business link, but there's also a link that they'll occasionally put that says own this listing. In this case, they're asking if you own this business. It kind of implies that the business is unclaimed, and you could go ahead and click and claim it. But once you click on that, they will tell you that the listing has already been claimed. Note how they'll give you a clue as to who has claimed the listing with that partial email address, and often that will tell you, for example, if you may have claimed it under a different Google sign-in address, or perhaps if an agency you employed had claimed it. Often that will be a good hint for you to get moving. And notice that you have a button at the bottom where you can request access, and then that request for access is going to go to the email address they have on file for someone who owns it. Now, in this case, we're looking at a business that has not been claimed. On the left, you see the maps view, and here again, they have the same link, own this business. And if we go and call up their listing on the knowledge panel, which is on the right, you can see that it switches. It doesn't say own this business, it says claim this business. And in this case, when you click on it, then finally you've gotten to the point where Google will give you a path to try to get to make a claim and get ownership and management rights to that particular listing. And so you can see that right there, manage this business to reply to reviews. And then when you click on manage now, it's going to take you through the process of verification. We're going to cover that in a separate lesson. As you can see, it's not always a direct path. Sometimes you've got a twisty, turny path in order to get to the point of claiming a business, but it is a necessary step if you don't already have management rights on your Google My Business listing to get to that point where you're given the dialogue you need to be able to claim it.